All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are live for the fourth time tonight. This is take 2 of my Survivor Series War Games 2022 live review. I do apologize. I did try before when I was ready to go live. I accidentally had the SmackDown graphics pulled up, so I had to abort the stream to fix that. So that's why we had me pull the plug out of the blue on this. We got the right one now, and we are live. So guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and for the third time tonight, today, we are live for my live review of WWE Survivor Series 2022, which of course is also called Survivor Series War Games, as for the first time. War Games comes to the main roster with Raw and SmackDown. I was glad we did this concept. No more brand versus brand, boring shit supremacy. Thank God we're past those days. And we had War Games on this show, thanks to the creative mind of Triple H. But we are live for the final pay-per-view review of the year for 2022, and again, it took place once again in I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Survivor Series 2022 took place last night, November 26th, 2022, and it did take place at the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. And again, of course, we had just 5 matches on this card. From 5 matches on this card, and it was an excellent card, and for the most part, it was a good show. I'll be honest and say the 2 War Games matches did deliver. I like the men's a little better than the women's, of course. Men's because the men's had a much more of a storytelling arc to it, in it, which, was very, working and very well fitting, of course. The women's wasn't too bad. The women's was solid. It wasn't horrible. I still think the best women's War Games match, in my opinion, was the NXT Women's War Games match in 2019 when Rhea Ripley won it 4-on-2. There was a couple botches in the women's match, but, it was still good. I think this pay-per-view was not legendary by any means. Like, we did have one bad match, which we will talk about that. It's the match I figured would be the weakest match on the card, and it really was not that good. But I think the whole idea is, what was it now? The whole idea was to kind of introduce the concept of War Games to the main roster, which is fine. It wasn't like, but like I said, I don't think it was the best War Games match we've had, but it was a good War Games match in general. I thought, and the matches other than the one didn't other than one. I'm sorry. Okay. Two things at once here. Got to stop looking at the live chat right now. Because there's a lot going on in the live chat. We'll get to that in a second. But again, all matches except for one, in my opinion, delivered. It was a good show. It wasn't a legendary show or a classic, but it was a good show. A good way to close out 2022. As again, most of the second half of the year has been under Triple H's writing. I will be honest, there was some issues with storytelling, especially at the fallout for the women's War Games match. Again, I'm not sure where we're going now. Also with the AJ and Finn, storyline with the OC and Judgment Day, other than maybe one thing possibly. The SmackDown Women's Championship picture, that's got not much of a future right now. We'll talk about that in a second. The U.S. title though, great match. The results, I was the only person with my friends group that called it. And again, the men's match That ending, like that, the storytelling for the men's match is what made that men's match stand out to me again. But I'm already losing my train of thought, so it's already 10 o'clock, so we gotta, get moving here before I lose my mind. And I will upload a couple of videos before I go to bed tonight. And then before I go, I will announce my plans for the week. I do, of course, have a stream. I have a stream I have in mind for tomorrow. I have to finish the graphics for it, but it's like a little special stream that we'll talk about for sure. And just, what there is to come for the rest of the year on this channel. So, well, as of now, of course. But we do have a lot going on with Dakota and Tyler in a live chat. We got Tyler. Dakota said it ended right away. I'm not sure if you're referring to my stream or the pay-per-view. Again, the last stream I started, I had to cut it because, again, I accidentally had the SmackDown graphics instead of the Survivor Series graphics loaded, but that's probably why. He does an amazing pay-per-view, okay. Tyler did a live review on Survivor Series earlier, nice. Dakota, he said, Cody is the fave to win the Rumble, but Mike, how do you like this idea? Have Punk return, him and Cody eliminate each other at the end, therefore neither win. They're the next night on Raw. Triple H makes their match a number contenders match at Mania to face Roman. Later in the night, have Roman come out and say, it looks like I don't have a match for Mania. Then have The Rock come out and the show ends up with him staring at The Rock from the ramp. Roman from the ramp. So there, he thinks what it should be is Cody Rhodes and CM Punk return at the Rumble. Again, I've already talked about CM Punk in my AEW review. I don't think he's coming back to WWE. Again, I just don't think so. I don't see it happening. I can't see it happening. I don't. Again, I still think... I don't want to get in a big debate. This is all I'm going to say about it, and then I'm going to drop it. Because again, I'm tired of talking about this whole CM Punk drama. I just don't think to this day, all parties involved in the media scrum were guilty of something. And Kenny Omega said it best in that article I talked about in my AEW review, that it's time to move past it. It's not about this and that. Let's just, move past this and make money from this. I still think CM Punk is coming back to AEW once his injury is done. I said it. I'm done discussing it. I'm sorry, guys, if you say anywhere in a live chat about it, I appreciate your comments, but I'm not going to comment any further. I'm sorry. Again, it's not you guys. Again, I'm just tired of this whole media scrum, this whole CM Punk controversy stuff. I'm sick of it. I'm ready to move on from it. Anyways, let me see what we have here. Tyler thought AJ and Finn was the best match on the show. Worse, what the fuck did you think it is SmackDown Women's Championship match? Of course, because we all know how much you love Ronda Rousey, Tyler. Horseface is shit in the ring. Comeback Charlotte. Change every set for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view. Sammy doing that to Kevin is going to lead to Sammy turning on them to align with Kevin by faking his alliance. They should have had Edge come out and cost Finn and still have him look super strong. Roman wins, LOL. They did return. It would be amazing. If it was possible, yes, it would be, it would be a good idea. But I just don't think it's happening in my opinion. But that's fine. Hey, Mark, Cody is still the favorite to dethrone Roman overall. I think Cody deserves the world title. Oh, that's for sure. Here's the thing: if they do Roman and Cody at Mania with Cody winning the Rumble, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. One, though, he does have unfinished business though with Seth Rollins. It feels like, even though they've already had 3 matches. The way they wrote him off, the way how Seth Rollins keeps talking about how he wrote off Cody Rhodes, makes me think they're going to do one more match when he comes back. I just still have hopes that they do Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Because again, in my opinion, if you don't do it this year, if you don't do it in Hollywood, then you're never going to do it again, in my opinion. How about AJ winning the Rumble and being Roman for the title at Mania? I'll talk about where I think AJ will get his title shot. Those 2 War Games matches are awesome, way better than any previous Survivor Series. Oh, definitely. Split the world tag titles. Is Rollins a face? Is Lashley a face? Who is face now? we'll talk about that, of course, again, as I keep giving my opinion about it, when we get to that. Mark says, please just get next year. And I think AJ is going to face Roman at Mania. Spoiler alert, that is what I think is going to happen too. I'm sorry, at Rumble. But spoiler alert, that's what I think is going to happen too. Like I said, I want to keep things moving. We have 5 matches to get through. Well, only 5, not 10 like, previous ones. But, it is a little after 10. I am starting to get a little sleepy. So I know if I keep going on, I'll probably go a little nuts. But we're going to keep moving just, of course, so we could get, the, train of thought here. Just so we can, go on a smooth pace. But I got almost the match card booked out right. We did not, of course, get Bray Wyatt and LA Knight as I thought we would get in my preview predictions. But that's okay. I'm sure, again, like I said in my SmackDown review, with a character-driven feud just starting out, it still has its way to go before we get to the match. The question, though, is when will that match happen? Will it be at like a special in December or January? Or, of course, will it be at the Royal Rumble? Which, of course, would have a long way to go. But let's talk about it. Let's roll into it. We open up the show with how I felt it should have opened up with. The Women's War Games match, which was Team Bianca Belair, which had Bianca, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch. They teamed up to take on Damage Control's Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. I believe it was Io and Asuka who started the match, which awesome. Damage Control's team did have the Damage Control team had the advantage, so I believe it was Io and then and Asuka. Then I think next was Nikki, I think, or Dakota, one of the two. I can't remember the order of how it was. Anyways, so the match was good. Again, like I said, my favorite women's War Games match is still the 4-on-2 victory by Rhea Ripley at NXT TakeOver War Games in 2019. There was a couple little botches in the match. First off, when Mia Yim came out to toss like the garbage cans into the ring, I think like 2 or 3 times the garbage can hit the ropes and came back out. I think, was it Io Sky got her legs trapped in the cage or something? I forgot one of them. There was a couple little botches that happened in the match. But take those away, this was still a fun War Games match. A lot of use of weapons, some vicious, shots, with the with the trash cans, I remember. Some table spots. And of course, some people went high flying. We did, of course, as I predicted, as any War Games match should, with Io Sky in it, or Io Shirai. Io does hit the moonsault from the top of the cage, but I think she only landed on Mia Yim, I think. What else happened in this match? Nikki Cross crawled up to the top of the cage and did like a crossbody off the top of the cage. Also, she definitely looked like a mad woman in this match, which as she should have. The thing I'm a little disappointed with is that they didn't really do too much with Rhea Ripley and Mia Yim, because I think that's the reason why I don't rank this as high as like other War Games matches, because I feel like the storytelling in this match I didn't really set up much for after. Because I thought there would be 2 different outcomes. The first would either be, in my predictions, I said what I wanted to see happen was, I wanted to see Damage Control win, because they desperately needed this win, but have Rhea Ripley pin Bianca to be able to start that feud. Or if Bianca's team was to win, then just have Bianca pin Bayley, because that's the whole story there, is that even though Bianca's beaten Bayley twice, first in the ladder match, then the last woman standing match, Bayley's pinned Bianca. Bianca hasn't pinned Bayley. But then, of course, they didn't quite do either of those. So, like I said, they didn't do too much with Rhea Ripley and Mia Yim, because that's a feud going on there, as Mia was brought into the OC to kind of be like the neutralizer to Rhea. They brawled a little, I remember, but then I think she may have put Mia through a table. I can't remember, but I remember that what took Rhea out of the match was Asuka sprayed the mist in Rhea's face. And I'm like, okay, cool, but right now the story is Rhea and Mia. Like, we'll get to this in a second. But anyway, so it all came down to all three members of Damage Control, Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. It was like, there was a moment where like it was a 3-on-2 stare-off, and it was a callback to SummerSlam when Bayley returned and Dakota Kai and Io Sky debuted on the main roster, and they had that stare down. So it was a 3-on-2 beatdown, but eventually they were able to get out of it. Bayley got KO'd into the steel, and then they laid out Dakota and Io on a table, and I believe from the top of the cage, Becky Lynch does like a gigantic leg drop through the table, and she pins either both Io and Dakota or one of them to get the victory. Which, I'm like, fine if you want to make Becky look good in her first match coming back. Especially, of course, if the rumors are if Becky's going to win the Rumble, which, look, I want to see Becky and Ronda at WrestleMania. Honestly, the only Ronda Rousey match I want to see right now. We'll talk about that, of course, when we get to it. But I just don't want... It doesn't have to have the title. Of course, you don't want Ronda to lose the title and look, weak. Not saying that anybody else is going to really, on SmackDown, is going to take the title off of her, but also, again, I just want to see someone else win the Rumble. Like, yes, Becky's already won the Rumble once before, but again, I still want to see, if you really do want to get mileage out of like a Rhea Ripley and Mia Yim feud, continue that. Because either way, I think it's obvious that the next feud is going to be Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. And Rhea didn't have to pin Bianca in this match to earn that title shot. Because technically, Rhea already did earn the title shot over the summer at Money in the Bank. She just didn't have the match because she got hurt at the time. So, of course, either way, you could still do the feud and probably have a match at the Royal Rumble. Again, I still think what they should do, have Rhea because the rumor match is still Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Which, okay, but can we please get something different? I'm still pitching this idea. And again, I don't think it'll happen, but here's the other thing was, I would rather see this, or something different. Have Rhea dethrone Bianca, and then the Rumble winner faces Rhea. The Rumble winner is Mia Yim. But again, I understand it's probably way too soon. Mia just got back. She does need reestablished. But in my opinion, you want something fresh, and you wanted something long term, since they're teasing the feud already. Why not have someone different like Mia Yim win the Rumble, and her and Rhea have a match at WrestleMania? It could be a good way to crown a new star, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just what I would rather see. Of course, is what this is lost also due to Damage Control. Like, I guess since she didn't pin Bayley, we could do the feud, leading the Rumble, or do a match at Chamber maybe with Bianca versus Bayley. I'm sorry, not Bianca versus Bayley, Becky Lynch versus Bayley. Like I said though, Damage Control just isn't built like a freaking threat right now. And, again, I'm just at the point now where I'm kind of wondering, okay, if they were going to lose and then decide to, win these women's tag titles that still feel pointless as hell, what was the point of building this stable? But again, like, they got brought in as, like, they're, you know, the bad girls on the block. They lose a lot, though. So, like I said, like, the match was good, but it's just like, where do you go from here with this? I mean, again, like I said, we should be getting Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Again, and I'm guessing we're doing Becky and Bayley. I'm assuming Mia's going to still be floating around Rhea, which, like I said, why don't they book it to where Mia wins the Rumble instead of Becky, and Becky can still fight Ronda at Mania just like some other way. Have Becky, I don't know, win the Chamber or something like that. She hasn't won the Elimination Chamber yet. Have that be the case instead. You know? But we'll see where that goes. But still a good match. Just like I said, like, the storytelling wasn't quite there like it was for the 2019 Women's War Games match, which I definitely thought was better. Was definitely the best one in my opinion with that one. But we had that one to start off with. Then we have the second match here. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Only the second time they've had a one-on-one match that I'm pretty sure of in WWE. The first time was at TLC 2017. And again, it was supposed to be originally the Demon Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, aka Sister Abigail, in drag and whatnot. But then, of course, that's when that viral infection was going around. Bray Wyatt was not able to wrestle in that match. And instead, they had AJ Styles come in. And again, I still like how they advertised the match as the Demon Finn Balor versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. I like how they kind of, like, you know, put the nicknames. I feel like it made the match feel like even more, like, you know, like, important. As far as this match goes, it was good. I still feel like if I had a choice of a match I like better, I feel like their 2017 match I thought was a little bit better than this. This was still good, but again, I don't know if it was because, you know, it was just, it felt a little bit more standard. We had some good counters, but it didn't feel like a classic. It felt like a good, like, main event match on Raw or something like that, it felt like. Because we did have some involvement. Well, we didn't have any of the women out there. We did have the OC fight off, and Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, who, you know, got banned from his own home on Thanksgiving, which I thought, again, that segment was hilarious. They brawled until they were out of the ring. And they still had a good match. It's just, I don't know. I just personally, in my opinion, like their TLC match in 2017 a little bit better. AJ Styles does win with the phenomenal forearm. I don't know what's next for the Judgment Day. I don't know because I still feel like they still got to do that mixed tag match with the OC and Judgment Day at some point. I still feel like that needs to happen. Because if that's not happening, then where do we go here with Judgment Day? But I think, though, this victory, because AJ needed this victory. AJ Styles hasn't really won much at all this year. And I think I heard the last time AJ Styles had a singles pay-per-view victory was back at Crown Jewel 2019. Ouch. Who did he even take on that show? I don't remember who he took on. Because he's saying that his last pay-per-view victory in general, not as a single star, was at Money in the Bank 2021. But I can't remember who he took on, though, on that show. You know, I'm not sure. But yeah. I say this, but yeah, I'm going to still say my prediction. Like Dakota said, though, I think the next route to do is have AJ take this victory and have AJ Styles carry that as momentum. And going to Royal Rumble in 2 months, I think AJ Styles should take on Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. Again, that I know Roman will most likely win, But again, these two had a good series of matches in 2016 at Payback and the Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules that year. And those were both awesome. But remember this, that was when AJ Styles was still trying to find his footing in WWE. And Roman Reigns was still booked as the bland babyface that nobody liked. So I keep thinking they got to go back to do that match again. I mean, yes, it'd be a WrestleMania caliber match, that's for sure. But again, we're either doing Roman and Cody, or I still think we should do Roman versus Rock. But I don't want to get my hopes up for that, of course, still. But it's just what I think needs to happen. Like I said, if it's not going to happen this year, it's never going to happen. If you're not going to do it in Hollywood, when else would you possibly do that match? But I think we will get AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, in my opinion. That's that match. All right. Let's talk about it. Match number 3, which was the match that I was definitely the least excited about. And that's Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi Blackheart. I had no expectations for this match. Let's, of course, just start off with the 2 problems I have with this. Again, first off, I'm sorry. Again, Shotzi Blackheart. I like Shotzi. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad they're giving her old character back and, getting away from whatever she was as a heel. They gave her back her tank. They're trying to once again make her feel like the female Jeff Hardy, which is very fitting, as I thought so. I again just think that, they turn her face, but she still has the mojo again, and that's a problem with so many superstars. They still have the Vince mojo on them. And, again, I respect Triple H for wanting to, keep, things making sense, continuity-wise. But this match, it really still feels like Shotzi Blackheart is like that old toy you pulled out of the toy box, and it still has all the cobwebs on it. I could not once even think that Shotzi had a chance. Even though she's even a little more green too, I feel like, the more reasonable match to do, in my opinion, was Ronda Rousey and Raquel Rodriguez. I don't know why, I just felt like in that 6-pack challenge, whatever you want to call it, I feel like, again, we just did Ronda and Liv. I don't think we're going to be doing a heel on heel. I think the better option at this time would have been Raquel Rodriguez. Maybe you could have waited to do Ronda and Shotzi at Rumble to give her more time to build up. But then again, especially the SmackDown Women's Division, there is just literally nobody that I can believe that could beat Ronda Rousey. Unless you maybe did Shayna Baszler, but even her, she's still losing the exact same way she was under Vince. And it's just pissing me off. And then there's Ronda. Look, I'm not going to say, I know I've, jagged around Tyler, of course, because, he, just can't stand Ronda Rousey, calls her a horse face, saying she sucks, this and that. I don't think Ronda sucks, but I gotta be real, and it really showed in this match. Again, this run she's had since she came back at the Rumble this year has been very inconsistent. And truth be told, I look at it the same way I looked at Randy Orton from 2017. He just seemed bored, and he seemed like he really didn't care. But when he tries, oh my goodness, he's awesome. And Ronda Rousey just hasn't always seemed like she's had her heart in it this year. And I don't know if that's because, she's more distracted as a mother. Or again, it's if she really does not want to be there and she's just there for the paycheck. Because people keep saying stuff how she posts on Twitter, dissing on pro wrestling and the fans. to me, it's like, okay, is she doing that as her character, or does she really believe that? Because if this is all just her character, just, saying, pro wrestling is fake and it's not that great, blah, 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 this, and that, and that's her character, then I can more so see that. But the fact is that if she really believes that, then that is a problem. Because, they brought her in, expecting her to be a star, which, again, her 2018-2019 run, excellent. I'm not going to diss on that one bit. But this one, again, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but it just really seems like her heart's not in it. It just seems like she's really been, most of the time, phoning it in this return. I mean, really, I'll be honest, the only good match, in my opinion, Ronda has had this run was her I Quit match against Charlotte at WrestleMania Backlash. That was the only good match, like really good match she had. I mean, her WrestleMania match was solid, but then, and her matches with Liv were awkward. That match with Natalya was what it was. She had a Money in the Bank. Didn't she have like a tag match, I think, at Elimination Chamber, but she seemed a little rusty. But even when she wrestles, even if she's wrestling like a Shotzi Blackheart, or like I don't know, she wrestled like Aaliyah, or like someone who we knew had no chance, it doesn't feel like that they don't have any chance at all. I'm sorry. She doesn't feel like she's like a dangerous threat. She doesn't feel unbeatable. She feels like another woman on the roster, but this time she just doesn't seem to really have her heart set on it. And again, I don't know if it's because, again, there's really nobody else to work with right now, or again, if she's just distracted as a mother, or if her heart's just not in it right now. But quite frankly, once she fights her and Becky, and again, that's the match we have to have. I mean, I don't know if she actually would care about the match with her and Becky, as, it should have been the main event of WrestleMania 35. Of course, it probably would have been the main event of Survivor Series 2018 if had somebody not broken Becky's face. But again, it's just my opinion. But yeah, this match was not good. It was a sloppy match. There was a spot in the match where Shotzi did like a crossbody, because it also felt like a 2-on-1 handicap match because Shayna Baszler kept getting involved. But there was a spot where Shotzi did a crossbody, I think on just Shayna or the both of them. And they went into the crowd and they took out people sitting up front. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was an accident. But Ronda does beat Shotzi by getting her to tap out, as I thought it would. So yeah, I truly feel that if Ronda's heart really is not into it right now, and it really showed in this match that she just really didn't care, in my opinion, she was bored, then it might be best for her just to, call it quits after Mania. In my opinion. I mean, I know Ronda also apparently does not take criticism on Twitter too well. She's someone who, even in real life from UFC, someone who, doesn't like, to lose. But again, if these opinions she has about pro wrestling being fake and, really can't stand the fans is not like a work, then I agree that she should just get out. But again, I'm not saying she sucks. I'm just saying I just feel like her heart is just not into it right now. And again, it could just be because she has absolutely nobody to work with, or again, she really just doesn't care and this is there for the paycheck. So, Ronda retains. Again, the worst match of the night for sure. But yeah, we'll keep moving. Again, there's only 2 matches left, then I'll check the live chat, which seemingly has some viewers already. But thank you again, Tyler, Dakota, and Mark for joining me, of course. Then we got to 2 really awesome matches. First, this United States Championship triple threat match between the champ, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory. To answer Dakota's question earlier, again, Bobby Lashley, who was seemingly booked like a heel with the way how he took out Brock Lesnar after the match at Crown Jewel, and he was getting booed at Crown Jewel, but really that's the only audience that was booing him. And yes, I know he literally just like destroyed Mustafa Ali left and right. Again, I don't know what the point of getting him involved in the storyline was if he wasn't going to get a title shot at all, which again made no sense. But so, and then there's Austin Theory, who again did deserve this shot, especially with, you know, with his character change after he dropped the Money in the Bank briefcase. Again, I've really gotten a lot more excited about Austin Theory. And as I keep saying too, it seemed going into this match, they were trying to make Seth Rollins a babyface and Bobby Lashley a heel. Well, first off, Bobby Lashley was high-fiving fans when he went out in this match. I get it, he's pissed off, he wants to, you know, destroy people, but to me, it's like he's trying to destroy, like, people he should be. Well, okay, Mustafa Ali's taking a hell of a beating from him. But, again, my thing again I keep saying is, Bobby Lashley, except for Mustafa Ali, has every right to want to go after these people. Again, Austin Theory has been a pain in his ass in recent months, of course, as well, even when they feud over the summer. Seth Rollins, again, Seth Rollins, like, goaded him into defending his title, and after Brock Lesnar hurt him, and, again, Rollins even insulted him being a soldier. So, why would I hate Bobby Lashley for wanting to get his revenge on Seth Rollins for that? And again, Seth Rollins, got his comeuppance whenever Lashley beat him down to Crown Jewel. And plus two, he's still freaking bragging about the fact that he wrote Cody Rhodes off television. So again, I still don't understand the whole point of looking at Bobby Lashley as a heel and Seth Rollins as a babyface. But with that being said, this match was exactly how I thought it was. Rollins had some great spots. Bobby Lashley dominated most of the match. And even Austin Theory had a good few moments in this match as well. But Lashley, of course, dominated most of it. Rollins, though, had a couple really good spots. A couple really good near falls. I think he actually, walked over top of Theory to hit a curb stomp on Lashley or something like that. I think there was a part in the match where I think Lashley had Theory in a hurt lock, and then Rollins put Lashley in a sleeper hold. There was a time also where Lashley, I think, tried to put both Rollins and Theory in a hurt lock at the same time. And I think he even suplex one and DDT there at the same time. He was just a beast in the match. But then, of course, the match ends. I believe also Rollins had also hit Bobby Lashley with a pedigree, but he kicked out of it. But I believe what did Theory have Rollins up for the 8-count down, or did Rollins have Theory up for a fireman's carry or something like that? But either way, wanted to happen. Bobby Lashley speared Seth Rollins, but based off of impact from injury, I guess when they landed, Austin Theory fell right on top of Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory gets the victory. And Austin Theory, as I predicted, became United States Champion. Kind of the match where Bobby Lashley's going to dominate, and Seth Rollins got a few few maneuvers in, and then Austin Theory picked up the scraps. Which again is not 100% what I want to see from Theory right now. Again, because they tease this new aggressive attitude. But, he's still going to, try to, be the sneaky one here. And Theory does, in fact, win the match. And he, is a 2-time United States champion. And I'm fine with that. I am absolutely fine with that. And to be honest, I think he should hold the belt through WrestleMania. Again, if you're going to establish this new character for Austin Theory, he already won me over 2 weeks ago. Why not give him the U.S. title back? Which could work well. And I'm still saying this, that change in character he had 2 weeks ago on Raw. Really, again, because they originally teased the idea of doing Austin Theory and John Cena at SummerSlam this past year. Which I was fine, I get, the two, the corporate, the chosen one, Austin Theory, versus the former Chosen One, John Cena. But with this new character, I want to see it more. And quite frankly, what a better way to have the U.S. title involved. Again, and I know like there's rumors of Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestling a match, and people do want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena. Honestly, I'm not opposed to that either. But right now, I'm more interested in John Cena and Austin Theory, and the U.S. title being involved in the match as well. What a big victory that would be for Austin Theory. And yes, I'm predicting Austin Theory to win, but that would be huge if they had Austin Theory not only pin John Cena, but win as the United States champion. I think that would be a great WrestleMania match to have, like a big sleeper hit to have, in my opinion. But yeah, so Austin Theory wins, which I think was a good move. Again, Seth will be fine to have the U.S. title. I mean, obviously, it still feels like that when Cody Rhodes comes back, there will be some unfinished business with him and Seth. And Bobby Lashley, I still feel like is going to be, finding his way back to Brock. Because I'm pretty sure at this point, again, we're going to be doing Brock and Lashley at WrestleMania next. Like I said, how to set that match up again? Have Brock return at the Rumble, both him and Lashley eliminate each other. That's how you do it. So we have that match. And then we have the main event. The men's War Games match. Team Brute, because they're feeling very Brute, which is Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Pete Dunne, the Brawling Brutes, and Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. Pete Dunne obviously having the most experience inside War Games in this match. Kevin Owens has some as well. They took on the Bloodline, which of course is Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and the honorary Uso himself, Sami Zayn. Although he may be getting fully promoted to a full-blown Uso as Sammy Uso after the performance he had in this match. So before we talk about the match, let's talk about, the backstory here. So Friday on SmackDown, Jey Uso confronted Sami Zayn after he overheard Sami talking to Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens is saying, the Bloodline's going to turn on you. So you better, turn on them first while you can, basically. Of course, Sami does lie to Jey, saying that he didn't talk to anybody at all. And this leads, of course, to Jey Uso, talking to Roman Reigns backstage at this show. And he wants Sami to come see him. Sami comes in. They talk things out, but Sami says he wants a guarantee that, he's got the Bloodlines back. Roman, of course, believes him, but obviously he wants to put him to the test. So the match begins. I think it started off with Pete Dunne and Jey Uso. And, of course, everybody else in the cages, and the babyface team has the advantage. So while inside the cage, though, for the Bloodline side, Roman Reigns is sitting on a chair, first off, showing that, he has special privileges, and he gets a chair. Nobody else gets a chair inside of the shark cage. I believe Ridge Holland was the next person to get sent in. Then comes the Bloodline to send someone in. Jimmy Uso is ready to go in and help his brother. Roman Reigns, though, grabs Jimmy and goes, not happening. He looks at Sami, he's like, get in there and kick some ass. So, obviously, he knows that Sami and Jey don't get along. So he wants this to be, a test to see if they would get along. Sami Zayn does go in there. Drew McIntyre was the next member, I believe, from the babyface team that entered the match. Drew didn't really do too much. I'd say out of everyone, he probably did the least amount in this match. But, he still looked good in the match. Of course, his story, he was trying to, get revenge on Solo Sikoa for costing him the title at Clash at the Castle. I think there was one point I remember in the match where he's saying, I'm feeling very oozy tonight, or something like that. Then came Jimmy, which there was a moment in the match where I think Jimmy Jay and Sammy all started disagreeing with each other. They started, scuffling and complaining to each other. But they were able to recover from that and get back on the same page. Then we had Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa. Then Sheamus. And of course, Roman Reigns was the last person to enter the cage. Now again, there wasn't much high-flying spots. I don't think anybody jumped off a cage in this match, but still, the weapon use was great. The table use was good. Actually, I'll be honest, I did start getting a little tired later into the show. I think I started dozing off during this match, only because I was so tired, and I jumped and heard my friend going, "Oh my god!" Because I think it was one of the table spots at this match. It wasn't, I think when one of the Usos went through a table. It was, because the only table spot I can remember was whenever Roman speared Ridge through the table. But then, of course, again, the big moment of the match. The big moment of the match was towards the end of the match. I think we did have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn collide with each other, and of course they were starting, brawling with other people and whatnot. They didn't really, brawl much with each other, as they haven't been. But Roman got involved. I think he Superman Kevin Owens, and him and Roman start, going at it. I think Kevin Owens then hit 2 stunners on Roman back to back, making us once again to think that Kevin Owens had Roman Reigns beat, as he had him several times in the series of matches they had at the end of 2020 into 2021. But Sami Zayn, instead of just breaking up the pinfall, Sami Zayn literally grabs the referee's arm and stops him. And I think then Jay got involved. He tried to super kick Owens. Owens caught him after he was talking some trash to Sami. And then Sami Zayn low blows Kevin Owens. And then he sets him up in the corner and hits the haluva kick. And I'm like, wow. Because my prediction was the Bloodline win this match, but have Sami Zayn get the pin to establish him and give him more of the momentum, more of the rub. Well, he did, but instead he did something different. He haluva kicked Kevin Owens, and as Owens was falling down off an impact from the kick, Sami caught him. And I'm thinking, okay, is this going to be a repeat of what happened at Battleground 2016? Or is Sami going to have a change of heart here or something? But then Sami looks over at Roman, and he says something to him. Roman nods. And Sami lays down Kevin, allows Jey Uso to go up top and hit a frog splash on KO. And Sami extended the olive branch to Jey, and it worked. Bloodline win. Sami Zayn solidifies his trust with the whole bloodline. He's embraced by Roman Reigns. And he even was accepted by Jey Uso. I mean, now that we have... And it was just incredible storytelling. This story with Sami Zayn and the bloodline has gone from, a guy who was just wanting to, just walk around and be part of a crew, get accepted by everybody except for one person, continues to cause some rift because one of them wasn't feeling, very Usy. And now, Sami Zayn has earned the full trust of the bloodline. And it's that's where, of course, the turn even becomes, even more well-meaning. Because at some point soon, around Rumble, or not after, they're going to have Sami Zayn, get, either the bloodline will turn on him, or he'll get to them first before anything happens. And I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens will be involved with that. Now, the thing is also, though, is today, though, I read a rumor that Elimination Chamber is supposed to be in Montreal. And rumors have it, they're thinking about, at that show, doing Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. And that as well could be where Sami Zayn could tease the fact that he could have beaten Roman. But then, of course, the Usos cost him the match. setting up, of course, Sami Zayn taking on, of course, Jey Uso, and of course Jimmy being by Jay's side as well, and having Kevin Owens being there, and that's where Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have their WrestleMania victory together. Like, those two, you know, I mean, yes, Kevin Owens has, won the U.S. title. He beat Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. He's lost a couple, like, you know, matches at Mania also as well. He beat Sami at 37. He lost to Stone... Well, he lost, but he got to have a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin here. But obviously, the journey these two have been on together, culminating with a tag title win at WrestleMania 38 would be awesome. And again, this storyline, it just makes like that turn feel more meaningful. Now you don't know when it's going to happen. Because you feel like the Bloodline 100% trusts Sami Zayn, right? But whatever idea they have for Sami to, you know, be split from the Bloodline, I'm all in on it. I'm even more excited for it now than I was before this match. Like I said, like, you know, there was no really big, you know, crazy spots. Yes, there was great use of weapons and everything, but again, the storytelling in this match, from Roman Reigns, you know, calling the shots and like preventing Jimmy Uso from going in and letting Sami go first, to have him and Jay, you know, work together. And then there was the moment in the match where I believe there was some miscommunication and there was something said between Sami and the Usos. But just to come full circle with Sami Zayn showing now who he trusts more right now, at least. The Bloodline or his longtime best friend, Kevin Owens. And then, of course, extend the olive branch to Jey Uso to get the pin. That was awesome. That was freaking awesome and outstanding. Oh, I loved it. Like I said, these War Games matches were great. I mean, this one, I definitely like the men's one better than the women. They weren't the best ones I've seen, but these were like some great matches to have a way to introduce War Games to the main roster. Like, I gave the show a B because that main event, like, had it would not been that main event been the way it was, I probably would have given the show like a B- instead. Because again, the women's War Games match was solid. AJ and Finn was good, not as good as I'd hoped to be, but it was still good. The US, as far as like a non-War Games match, definitely the US title was the better match of the three singles matches. Definitely the worst match for sure was Ronda and Shotzi. That brought it down. But again, the storytelling in that main event to me is what got the show to be a B. I gave Survivor Series a B. Good show. Fun way to end the pay-per-views for 2022. And hopefully we do see this concept again next year for War Games. And we'll check the live chat, and then I'm going to be wrapping up and getting out of here. I'll have 3 videos to upload, but let me talk about all this in a second. I think we were at here. Mark gave the show an A+. Dakota says, man, that near fall when Sami grabbed the ref's hand to stop it. Oh, yes. Yeah, he didn't just pull the referee off. He literally grabbed the referee's hand, which made it even more like, holy smokes. Tyler thought WrestleMania was pay-per-view of the year, and the worst thought was WrestleMania Backlash. Dakota says, Sami and Owens take the tag titles at Mania, and Cody takes the world title at Mania, and the Bloodline is finished. I mean, it could be, because even my one friend keeps saying, after Roman loses the titles, what else does he have left to do, you know? Like he could very well, like, retire after he drops the titles. He literally has nothing left to do, in my opinion. Let me see here. I thought Io injured Bianca. She grabbed her knee and the ref checked on her. Could have, yes. I forgot about that spot. Forget what I said about doing this again next year for Survivor Series. Do War Games every year. Oh, yes. Survivor Series and have War Games a standalone in December. Okay. As long as Survivor Series has something else besides Raw versus SmackDown, I can be okay with that. Tyler says, give Becky the Raw Women's title back. Honestly, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If Vince was still around, even though the match wouldn't be that good if Vince was still around, But if they weren't going to, because I still think with how much talent they're bringing back, again, you could at the beginning of the year, I thought the brand split would end. But with the talent coming back, doing a draft again after WrestleMania, I think you can be okay with splitting the titles again, having multiple titles. But hey, if they wanted to do Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey title versus title, I would not be opposed to that. I mean, yes, it would be very similar like to the winner takes all triple threat we had at WrestleMania 35, true. But I wouldn't be opposed to a winner take all between the two of them. And of course, that could be the way to write off Ronda Rousey also. Because like I said again before, like if she's not going to want to work with anybody else, then like I said, like she might as well just, step aside after WrestleMania, in my opinion. Just my opinion. I think they are doing away with gimmick pay-per-views, and Elimination Chamber will be no way out. Apparently, Triple H did announce at the press conference afterwards that Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber are still going to be pay-per-views. But I think he's going away with other gimmick ones, which is good. Mark said, send Becky to SmackDown to face Horseface. Oh, she will be there. Or bring Charlotte on SmackDown and take that belt off Horseface. I don't really want to see Charlotte and Ronda though again. I still am more excited about Becky versus Ronda, which should have just happened this year, but it is what it is. Put SmackDown on Thursday and on a different channel, he thinks. We got Robbie in the live chat. What's up, Robbie? If my thing would work here. Let me see here. Kudos Triple H and the WWE roster for producing and delivering another really good and exciting premium live event. That War Games ending was incredible, especially storytelling, for sure. What do you think happens to Damage Control from here? Again, I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. Because like I said, yes, I was glad to see Bayley not take the pin in this, but again, they really are not the big threat. Like, I think we're going to transition still to a feud with Bayley and Becky, because we haven't seen them feud yet. But again, it's just like, am I able to take Bayley seriously still now? Because she's really not the big one. But, so I don't know if they will split them up or what they'll do with them. But I think for now, we're at least going to get a feud with Bayley and Becky, I think. Let me see here. Mark's checking out. Oh, he's still here. Never mind. Robbie says, I gave the show a strong B as well. Tyler says, don't have Roman and Rocket Mania. Which, again, I disagree. I still think if they're not going to do it this year, then they're never going to do it. So, Mike, to continue AJ and Finn Balor feud, let's do a 30 or 60 minute Iron Man match to determine a new number one contender for Roman's titles. I mean, if you want to do that, sure. I'd be for it. Hey, do it on Raw or something. Have it be like a main event on Raw or something. But I think, if that's a good way to kind of, give, because again, like I said, AJ has not won much this year. And again, when I heard his last singles pay-per-view victory was from Crown Jewel in 2019, I'm like, damn, that's sad. But yeah, that would be a good way to officially give AJ a little more momentum and crown him as the number one contender for Rumble. I really like that idea. That's awesome, Robbie. Mark's surprised that we have no pay-per-views between Survivor and Rumble. About the time they don't need a pay-per-view every month. For sure, and they really don't need a pay-per-view between Survivor Series and Rumble. So it's like, December's going to be a little bit of like a chill month. Probably set up some long-term booking, for sure, for Rumble. So we'll see, of course, where it goes. And did anyone catch Michael Cole referring to Becky versus Bayley as a stone rivalry in NXT? When did they have a rivalry, though? Because, again, I know Becky turned on Bayley, and her and Sasha are kind of like a duo for a bit, but did Becky and Bayley ever have a one-on-one match? On pay-per-view, at least not one-on-one, but I really haven't seen them do much together, really. So yeah. And Tyler Snow was AJ as champion on SmackDown, which I've given my thoughts on that before. But I think that's going to do it here, guys. Again, thank you to Mark, Dakota, Robbie, and Tyler for your thoughts in the live chat, as always. I have 3 baseball videos I'm going to upload after this, but I think I'm done, recording today. I mean, again, I got a later start because I ended up going out to lunch with my parents. I got a little later start because I slept in today. So here's my plan. While I'm uploading those, I'm finishing the graphics for it. But tomorrow before Raw, I do want to do a special. I've mentioned it a couple times, but that special is which I actually looked at the list. Again, this year for my Christmas list, I had a couple wrestling shirts on the list, but most of them don't even exist anymore. So I modified my list, and going back, yes, 1 or 2 either may not exist or is, has limited stock left and being discontinued, and whatnot. But I have 27, between WWE and AEW, I have 27 shirts on my Christmas wish list this year. And I think for something different, why not do a little, holiday, a way to start off, the build to the holidays. Why not, do a stream where I share what shirts are on my list? And I'm going to, after I finish the graphics, I think I got half of them done. I'm going to take the list and make it into, which one out of the 27, which one, do I want the most? And, make, a special stream off of that. So I am going to do that. Like I said, I'm not 100% sold on the idea, but I'm still considering, again, doing an expansion on maybe making an Instagram and a Facebook page for my channel. Again, I do have a TikTok, and I've, been experimenting a little bit on TikTok, a little bit. I might do another small one before I go to bed tonight, maybe if I have time, not sure. But I feel like I'm going to advertise it. I don't have it listed yet because I do want to, again, do a new intro. I might, change up the graphics a little bit going into the new year also, since I might have more social media to, promote on the graphics and whatnot. But again, if I would, of course, continue to use TikTok, I do want to kind of more so use that for shorts or something comedy blurbs or whatnot, just for the fun of it to entertain, in my opinion. Let me see here. But there's that, and then again, I'm not sure if I'll do any end of the year specials or anything like that. But one thing I definitely want to do, it's going to be split into 2 because it was 2 different tapings, but next month, December 18th, 2022 will mark 10 years since I attended my first WWE live event, it was actually back when SmackDown was pre-taped and aired on Fridays, but it was that week where they called it WWE Week on USA, and they aired SmackDown live on Tuesday that week. So I got it straightened out because I looked up the research today. December 18th was a live episode of SmackDown, and then of course that night we taped. It was the tapings for the Christmas the Christmas Eve edition of Raw the following week. So I'm going to do a live review. 2 retro live reviews for both those episodes in honor of being 10 years since my first WWE live event. And again, still to this day, people ask me, how on earth did you become a fan after watching that crap? And I can still say, I have no idea. But I want to go back, watch those 2 episodes again, and do retro reviews of that later on in December. And of course, if I come with any ideas, I will do that as well. Again, I did try to do a couple more episodes of episode 8 of Wolf 3D 30th anniversary today. Again, since those last 3 episodes, I want to do record them all, to do the commentary for all. That way I can compare them all together when I do that at the end. Again, I have a few baseball topics I want to talk about still. But yeah. And also, it looks like Robbie had one more question for me. Well, first he said, Bayley faced Becky on NXT TV in her final step towards securing the Brooklyn match with Sasha. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That is true. And he also says, oh Mike, real quick, your thoughts on Dominic and Rhea's Thanksgiving beatdown on Rey Mysterio at Rey's house? Were you surprised they returned to that storyline so soon? Man, well, I talked about it a little bit in my SmackDown review. I wouldn't say I was surprised, but it's kind of like one of those moments where it was a fitting moment to kind of like, tease it again. Like, I still tease that, hey, he's still lurking around, basically. But I loved that segment. Dom's like, yeah, my family will like you. It's like, are you oblivious? Like, for crying out loud, they hate this woman. They hate her, for crying out loud. She's down with Aaliyah Mysterio's man. Kayfabe wise, of course. And it's like, are you oblivious? And then, of course, he's like, not now. It's like, it's okay, guys. It's the holidays. Bam, 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 bam. It's okay. It's cool. It's the holidays. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, look at these pictures. It's so nice. Bam. And then the broom's like, Dad. It's okay. It's okay. It's the holidays. Bam! I loved it. Like I said, it was a nice, little, tease to come back to. But like I said, I said in SmackDown, I think that will come more full blown in the Rumble match. I feel like, they're gonna really, steer towards WrestleMania with that. With maybe having Rey eliminating Dominic in the Rumble match, where he finally decides to put his hands on his son and teach his son a lesson. It won't work, as I think Dom should win at Mania, but And Michael Cole got so fired up after that beatdown, and I loved his passion for it. Oh, I did too, definitely. But with that being said, though, guys, I think we're going to call it a night here again, because I am tired and I gotta get back to work tomorrow. Not looking forward to it. I have 3 full weeks and a 4-day and 2 full 4-day weeks left for the rest of the year. I get the Friday before Christmas and the Monday after Christmas off from work. But, Christmas rushes in my industry that I work for right now full time during the week is the busiest time of the year. So I'm not looking forward to it, but I will get by it. But again, of course, it will get busy during the holidays. But hopefully, again, these past 2 weeks have been nuts. But hopefully I do stay a little bit more on track the next couple of weeks for sure. And like I said, I'm going to revamp the channel a little bit going into 2023. But guys, I'm going to call it a night here, and I'm going to upload a couple videos and maybe do a short little TikTok before I go to bed tonight. We'll see. But guys, what are your thoughts on Survivor Series? Again, I gave it a B. Again, the War Games matches were good. Weren't my favorite ones I've seen, but they were good, especially the men's. What are your thoughts also on my small rant about Ronda Rousey and the women's division on SmackDown? Where do you think we go with AJ Styles and Finn Balor? Your thoughts on Austin Theory as U.S. champion, and of course the whole dynamic thing with Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley. What do you guys all think about all this? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. You may follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of Demand 93. And also make sure to shout for meatball sub. And give me a follow on TikTok at the Club of Demand 1993. And give that video some likes. Give that some likes. And hopefully I will have another TikTok soon. Pitching in an idea during a little comedy skit as well. We'll see. But guys, I'm checking out. Glad to get caught up on my live streams at least. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for my little Christmas special I do, which again, I share the 27 t-shirts that I have on my Christmas wish list. I know I will not get all of them, of course. Hopefully maybe a couple of them. We will see. But of course, I will see you guys tomorrow night for that. That should be fun. We'll review Raw probably Tuesday after work. And then the rest of the stuff will come along during the week. So guys, thank you as always for your patience. Thank you guys all for your support as well. Love you all. Check it out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.